Help.
Staffing's been hard.
Wanted.
It is harder to find, people to work right now.
Ohio.
We have ads out on Indeed, social media. We've offered referral incentives.
Where did all the workers go?
I wanted to be a business owner. I didn't want to go back to work.
And how can companies win them back?
We are trying things that we've never tried before.
Plus, is there an end in sight? We are bringing you special coverage of the employment crisis now at 5:30.
All throughout 2021, businesses have adapted, hoping to make it through the COVID pandemic. They've been hit by the pandemic, inflation now, supply chain disruptions, and the Great Resignation. At one point, the U.S. had more than 10 million job openings. So we begin tonight with News 5 anchor DeLon Dillard. He spoke with some of those elusive workers about why they left the workforce and why they aren't going back.
Downtown Cleveland. It's the heart of several corporate offices, local businesses, and municipal buildings. And the thousands of employees working in them is what keeps the blood flowing. But in 2020, COVID-19 haunted that flow as many employees lost their jobs.
Losing that was a little bit of a confidence hit, and it was very difficult to navigate.
Including these former downtown employees. Corinne Johnson had just started working for the Cleveland Housing Court in early 2020.
Last holiday season was really, really hard. I was struggling a lot with just what to do. That was kind of like the pinnacle of my career, getting sworn into public office.
Ronisha Horn worked for iHeartMedia Cleveland for 12 years, holding her dream position as director of marketing when she was let go in April of 2020.
It was heartbreaking. I started that job when I was 25 or 26 years old. That was family to me.
And in August of that same year, Horn lost her grandfather. She says that was her final push into entrepreneurship.
I thought about his life that he dedicated to this company and how we dedicate our lives to companies and they can just let us go at any time. And so it was that day, the day that he died, that I decided I would start my own company. Hey Jordan, how are you?
By September, she birthed RH Event Planning and Consulting. She went from planning local concerts and rubbing shoulders with celebrities for iHeartMedia to doing the same thing, but under her own name.
I'm able to still do my dream for myself. I'm able to still be director of marketing or CEO. I'm able to wear all the hats and do it successfully for myself.
The spirit of entrepreneurship was alive and well in 2020, according to the Ohio Secretary of State. Nearly 172,000 new business filings were reported last year. So far this year, the state reports nearly 182,000 new businesses have been created. Count Corinne Johnson among that number.
In December, I made a vision board. I put on there that I wanted to be a business owner. I didn't want to go back to work. And in January, on my birthday, I decided to go ahead and file my LLC and get started with my business. That's where the magic happens.
She started a laser printing business, crafting everything from home decor to graduation gifts. But these custom keys she made for local realtors became the key that opened up a new door for her. Real estate.
There's a ton of success to be found in real estate, and there's a ton of gratification that you get as well, helping people to achieve their dreams of homeownership.
Early next year, Johnson says she plans to obtain her real estate license and work for a Black-owned company. It's pretty hard to ignore that life has come full circle. She was once working with people on the brink of losing their homes, but soon she plans to help people, especially Black people, own their home.
It's a lot of work to be done in our minority communities, and so to be able to help people prepare themselves, prepare their finances, and get ready for that is really fulfilling.
DeLon Dillard, News 5.
Thanks, DeLon. So what about the people who can't start their own businesses? Homo, we're trying to figure out how employers can woo those workers and keep them in 2022.
2 words: flexibility and autonomy. That's according to an article in Human Resource Executive. A global survey found almost everybody they asked wanted a say in where and when they worked. The companies that don't offer that may lose more workers.
And even some of the local companies rated among the best to work for are reevaluating how they do things. As News 5's Clay Lepard learned, they're expanding their reach with workers getting younger and, in some cases, further away.
Meet the next generation of the labor workforce. During these difficult times for hiring, these high schoolers at Polaris Career Center became a hot commodity. As part of this specific program, these pre-apprentice students spend time in the classroom and also working toward a career at Swagelok, a Northeast Ohio manufacturer of valves and fittings. Swagelok also consistently pops up on lists ranked as one of the area's top places to work. But even so, the Solon-based company is struggling to hire right now.
We are trying things that we've never tried before to get people in the door and specifically retain them.
This program is just one facet of the company's push to find new talent, as the manufacturing industry's aging workforce nears retirement and empty workstations remain.
2021 has been unprecedented in terms of, I would say, the challenges that employers have faced in terms of hiring, and Swagelok's not been immune to that.
Despite its workplace reputation, the company says it has several hundred openings out of its workforce of 4,500. In just the past year, hiring managers at the company say they've increased rewards for referrals, added sign-on bonuses, and open their doors for interview days.
We're seeing unprecedented growth, and so we're really working hard to help support that.
Over here at Marcus Thomas, a Cleveland-based advertising and public relations firm, accolades adorn the lobby. The desks, though, a lot of those are still empty. However, that doesn't mean the firm is struggling to fill positions.
This firm took the opportunity to widen its hiring net.
We currently have people in Pennsylvania, and we have people in Nashville, Tennessee, someone in Michigan.
Now with employees in 13 states, as opposed to just right here in Northeast Ohio.
I've been able to attract a lot of higher quality talent, people that would have never heard of Marcus Thomas prior to COVID.
I was not ready to move on from Marcus Thomas.
When her husband got a new job a year ago, Aya Mason moved back home to Nashville, but stayed at the Cleveland-based PR firm.
It was a very easy transition. I think literally all I did was I went into the office to pick up a couple of things that were collecting dust over the last year anyways.
When the pandemic pushed people out of the building, those here found the definition of a positive workplace shifted away from gaming areas and inviting offices.
We started to realize in 2021 that some of the lessons that we learned could be things that are going to be carried forward into the workplace for the foreseeable future.
That meant evolving the culture to retain and attract new talent by adding a remote work stipend and other perks that benefit people outside the office.
People aren't afraid to come to the table and ask for what they need, and then in return, companies get great work.
Adapting long-term changes for the next generation of what work looks like. In Warrensville Heights.
We want to be a place where people want to work.
Clay Lepard, News 5.
Still to come, pathways to a pipeline.
Currently, we have over 275 business and community partners supporting students as they learn and grow and get ready for life after high school.
How schools are helping students develop the skills our state needs now.
And the big changes at small businesses to support staff and services around Northeast Ohio.
Thanks for joining us for our special coverage, Help Wanted Ohio. As companies look for workers, local schools are already addressing what Ohio's future workforce is going to need.
In Akron Public Schools, each campus offers different pathways based on student interests and opportunities.
So for us, it's making sure that our kids have choices and that they're prepared to go whichever way they want after high school.
At North High School, students can pick between 8 different pathways, from skilled trades to health services. Other campuses offer sports medicine, construction, technology, even fashion design.
All these pathways are going to teach you transferable skills that you can use pretty much in any job setting.
It's really giving the students an ability to actually really explore that career, learn some skills and competencies that help them kind of hit that entry level at a higher, maybe a higher wage, and fill the workforce needs of our community while still going to college.
Akron schools also work with community partners to give students access to job fairs, college visits, career shadowing, and internships. Still to come, strong sales are a perk for this small business.
Whenever there's the need, I work a lot by myself.
Getting harder, though, to hire those baristas. How smaller shops like this one are competing with larger companies to get more applicants through their front door. Thanks for staying with us with our special coverage, Help Wanted Ohio. The pandemic has been especially hard on those small businesses, but in Ohio, we are seeing a positive trend.
Yeah, DeLon mentioned this earlier. In 2021, our state broke its record for new business filings in 1 year, with more than 181,000 created. Small businesses are often called the backbone of our local and national economies. But as news anchor Katie Usen shows us, they've never worked harder to remain standing.
If success had a sound, aroma, taste, feel, and face.
Hello, how are you?
You'd find it here at Arabica Coffee House.
What are you having?
Can I have a black eye with sugar-free vanilla, please?
So Arabica Willoughby's been here since 1996.
Owner Tim Snyder
2020 was a crazy year.
says success during the pandemic's been a grind.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
2021's been actually really good for us. People are out and ready to enjoy life a little bit. Medium dirty chai.
While business is up, help has been harder to come by.
You know, we used to average 30 to 40 applicants a month. Now we have 3, 4.
And they're younger, more teens than 20-somethings.
We've always paid pretty well. But yeah, we've upped the price. I mean, we're not big enough where we can't afford to offer benefits like traditional benefits or, you know, it's just through pay, time off, being understanding to everybody.
Like many small business owners, it means Tim is working a lot.
I work anywhere from 70 to 100 hours a week. Whenever there's the need, I work. It's hard. Thank God for my wife. She's wonderful and is really understanding. And we talk about how this is like our baby. We don't have kids. Can you ring up Hank for a medium mocha? Because we have this.
Business has bounced back. That's what the Cleveland office of the Small Business Administration is telling me they're hearing from small business owners, just like Tim, who says he's on track to have his best year in 3 years. But supply chain issues and staffing shortages remain common concerns. You see it right here in the heart of downtown Willoughby to all the way over here on the west side in the heart of Lakewood.
You said you're finally fully staffed.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's been grueling, mainly getting line cooks, you know, kitchen.
Corey Haiti is co-owner of Mahal's. He also owns a concert company and a cocktail bar.
The work-life balance. Does that even exist? Is that even a thing for you?
Not really.
And is working to repair what he believes has hurt the reputation of industry jobs.
I think a lot of people were burned out from having service industry jobs for so long, being taken advantage of and taken for granted.
He's putting people first to keep business rolling.
Gotta treat people with respect, and you gotta treat people like human beings. It's the best thing we can do.
But the uncertainty of the pandemic still looms.
Trying to take care of people, take care of their health, help people get more affordable insurance. I think those are all big takeaways, which are great for the future. I think we can set a good standard for the industry as a whole, but I think we worry about the coming months because we're just like not sure what's going to happen.
Strikes and gutters for small businesses right now, but hope for more balance ahead.
I've gotten such great support from this community. My biggest wish is that everyone can just keep, Julia, what's happening? Supporting each other.
Katie Usen, News 5.
Yeah.
Thanks, Katie. And bigger companies trying to fill positions often rely on those computer animation programs and keyword searches to find their candidates. Harvard Business School says those practices focus on what applicants don't have, like credentials, rather than their value and their potential. The process leaves untapped talent on the table, and they're called hidden workers. And research suggests there are more than 27 million of them. To create a new talent pipeline, companies are encouraged now to reevaluate their job descriptions, look for skills instead of degrees, and evolve their hiring process. Even with a fresh approach to bringing in new staff, keeping workers will be a problem that's expected to stretch into the new year.
A survey from Fidelity Investment shows nearly 40% of workers plan to make a job switch in 2022, and younger generations are more likely to find new jobs. They cite the top reasons for making a change as job stress, flexibility, and wanting to find a job aligned with their personal values. Still to come, from desperate in the last decade to overwhelming options.
We're digging into how our workforce got to where it is today and why it's drastically different from just 10 years ago.
As help-wanted signs hang outside stores, we have seen them over and over again. A local group is trying to figure out where the workers went. The Fund for Our Economic Future has begun a survey of workers and businesses. The group hopes to learn what has changed with the hiring situation in Northeast Ohio and what's working. But it is not just a local problem. Nationally, it is estimated there is more than one job open for every American who wants to work.
So why haven't millions of people returned to the workforce yet? News 5's John Kosick takes a look now at how we got to the point where we are right now and where we're heading in the new year.
In January of 2020, the U.S. economy was on a roll. Unemployment was low, wages were rising, and inflation in check. That's when things went south as the pandemic began its impact in February and March. The nation's economic leaders immediately looking to assure Americans.
Let me just comment, this isn't like the financial crisis.
The financial crisis of 2008, the banking collapse that led to the Great Recession of 2009 when unemployment soared and people waited in lines for a shot at any job, like here in Canton in March of 2009 when more than 200 people showed up for 24 call center jobs that paid just $10 an hour, or when a $15 an hour afternoon janitor's job opened up in one local school district and they got 500 applicants in just 3 days. Yes, this crisis has produced the exact opposite.
There are about 10 million jobs open today. I believe there are about 8 million people who are out of work.
The big difference, economists say, was that unlike 2009, the economy in 2020 was sound when the pandemic hit. And while Washington may have done too little back then, they weren't making that mistake again.
We've just had much more fiscal stimulus as well as monetary stimulus this time around. And so with that impetus for the economic recovery to move faster, that has caused the labor market to tighten faster than workers have been coming back in. So night and day versus what we saw at the last time around.
It was thought that when the monetary benefits, like extended unemployment, ended this summer and fall, those workers would come back. One issue that all point to, though, for that not happening, childcare.
The number of childcare workers in the United States is down by over 10% relative to the pre-pandemic period versus the number of overall employment, we're only down by less than 3%. So that is really holding back the ability of working parents to get back into the labor force.
Another issue all point to is the genuine health concern the pandemic still carries, especially for those who were in low-paying jobs. That's true especially with older workers who were the biggest source of growth in the U.S. workforce prior to the pandemic.
I mean, you go to a job where you're actually with the public, you go home every night anxious about possibly passing this virus, still deadly for thousands of people. You may pass this on to your family.
Still, Bill Adams, senior international economist for PNC Financial Services, tells News 5, all signs point to inflation peaking in the next few months, the supply chain crisis easing in the first months of the new year, and many of those workers returning, though many in new fields.
We expect another year of rapid jobs recovery in 2022, and we think that overall employment is likely to get back to the pre-pandemic level by the middle of next year. So it looks like we're going to see another year of strong growth in 2022, and should be good for workers, higher wages, and also good for businesses.
The wild card, as it has been throughout this pandemic, though, is the pandemic itself. John Kosick, News 5.
Thank you, John. And we have much more coverage on our website, too, news5cleveland.com.
You can read about all of today's stories there, plus find resources if you do need to find work.